Hey, Jason Julius here, and let's talk about one of the most intense full-body orgasmic experiences that a woman can have, a squirting orgasm, also known as female ejaculation. Yes, it's real, and yes, it's one of the most powerful and pleasurable releases a woman can experience. Now, I'll often get asked, isn't it just urine? Let me stop you right there. A lot of research, including insights from leading intimacy experts like Dr. Laura Berman, has shown that female ejaculation is not urine. It's a unique fluid released from the Skene's glands, which are often referred to as the female prostate. This is backed by science, and countless women can attest to how incredible it feels. But let me be clear about something before we go any further. Every woman's body is different. This is not about creating expectations or pressure. It's about creating a space for exploration, connection, and trust. If you're here to learn how to help her unlock this experience, then you're already ahead of the game. In this video, we're going to dive deep into what female ejaculation is, where it comes from, and how you can help your partner achieve it, not through tricks or shortcuts, but by understanding her mind, body, and the key role that you play in creating the right environment. So get ready, because this is what you need to know if you want to make her squirt consistently. Now, female ejaculation is as real as it gets, and countless women around the world have experienced it. But what does it feel like? For many women, it's described as an intense full-body release, a pleasure unlike anything else. But as I mentioned before, every woman's body is different. Some women may squirt easily, while others, it may take more exploration and practice. There's no right way to experience pleasure. Female ejaculation is a possibility, not a performance. When you approach it with this mindset, you're setting the stage for a deeper and more fulfilling experience for both of you. To help your woman achieve a squirting orgasm, it's crucial to understand the role of the mind. Female pleasure, especially something as profound as a squirting orgasm, goes far beyond physical stimulation. It requires her to enter a deeply relaxed, present state of mind where alpha brainwaves are abundant. Alpha brainwaves are associated with calm, focus, and relaxation, the kind of state you might feel during meditation or just before falling asleep. This state is where the magic happens. But let's be honest, getting there is not easy. Modern life is hectic, and women are juggling careers, family, relationships, and a million other responsibilities. With all that noise, it's no wonder why so many women have never experienced this type of surrender that's required to access these depths of pleasure. But here's the thing, squirting orgasms are not a push-button event. They're a journey, and they demand total surrender. And surrender can be scary. And as she approaches that peak, her mind might resist, telling her to stop, that she's losing control, or that something unfamiliar is happening. That's why so many women stop their partner just as they're getting close. It's not because they don't want to experience it, it's because their mind is holding them back. But here's the good news. Practicing getting to this state more often can make all the difference. The more she allows herself to relax and stay present in the moment, the easier it becomes to access these deeper levels of surrender. It's a skill that can be developed, and the results are life-changing. That's exactly why my wife and I created a course called Sweet Release for women on how to achieve orgasms more easily and consistently. In fact, 80% of the focus is on teaching women how to get into an orgasmic state of presence where alpha brain waves are flowing. Because once she masters this, the physical side of things becomes so much easier, and the types of pleasure she can experience, like squirting orgasms, become not just possible, but natural. To easily be able to get to that state, ladies, go check out our quiz over on elevatepassion.com. Now guys, here's where your role as the facilitator of orgasm comes into play. To help her reach this state, you need to be present yourself. You need to command trust and respect, not through words, but through your actions and the energy that you bring into the moment. This is where so many men miss the mark. They're focused on the mechanics or the outcome, but what truly sets you apart is your ability to embody a state of calm confidence that gives her permission to let go. When you're grounded, patient, and fully present, you create a space where she feels safe to explore these uncharted territories of pleasure. That's one of the key differences between men who are able to consistently help women achieve this release and men who cannot. It's not about being a vagina technician. It's about being the kind of man who inspires trust, respect, and surrender. So understand this, helping her reach this type of orgasm isn't just about what you do with your hands or your penis. It's about the state of being that you embody. When you show up with presence, respect, and a genuine focus on her pleasure, you become the key that unlocks her ability to let go and experience the fullness of what her body is capable of. Okay, now that we've talked about the mental aspect, let's move on to the physical side of things, specifically the types of stimulation that are most likely to lead to a squirting orgasm. This is where understanding her unique anatomy and preferences can make all the difference. First, let's talk about G-spot stimulation, which is most commonly associated with female ejaculation. The G-spot is located about 1 to 2 inches inside the front wall of her vagina. When you touch it, it may feel slightly ridged or spongy compared to the surrounding tissue. Now you want to stimulate it with a consistent rhythm and pressure that she responds to, and always pay attention to her bodily cues to know if she's really enjoying it. Next is A-spot stimulation, which isn't talked about as much but can be just as powerful for some women. The A-spot, or vaginal fornix, is located deeper inside near the cervix. Stimulating this area requires a slightly different technique, but for women who enjoy deeper sensations, it can trigger intense pleasure and can often be even more reliable for achieving squirting orgasms. Now, communication is key here. Ask her how it feels and adjust based on her responses. It's also worth mentioning that while less common, some women can squirt from clitoral stimulation alone. The clitoris is incredibly sensitive with thousands of nerve endings designed purely for pleasure. For these women, direct or indirect clitoral stimulation can create just the right buildup to a squirting release. This just goes to show how unique each woman's body is and why exploration is so important. Here's the golden rule to keep in mind. Every woman's body is different. What works for one might not work for another, and that's perfectly normal. This isn't about trying to force something to happen. It's about creating an environment where she feels comfortable and connected enough to explore what feels good for her. And this leads us to another critical point. Physical stimulation alone isn't enough. The foundation of any technique is how you make her feel emotionally and mentally. If she's not in the right headspace, no amount of physical effort will get her there. But when you combine mental surrender with the right kind of stimulation, that's when the magic happens. Another thing to remember is to experiment with some positions and angles. Sometimes something as simple as having her hips slightly elevated with a pillow under her can make it easier to access her G-spot or her A-spot. You're not locked into one method or position, but be creative and adapt to what works best for her. Lastly, always check in with her. As the experience intensifies, she may feel a sensation of needing to urinate, which is completely normal and often a sign that she's getting close. Reassure her that it's part of the process and encourage her to stay relaxed and just go with the flow, literally. When you take the time to understand these different types of stimulation, combine them with trust and presence, and stay attuned to her responses, you're creating the perfect recipe for her to explore and experience the full depth of her pleasure. Now let's talk about one of the most overlooked but absolutely critical aspects of helping her achieve a squirting orgasm: the strength of her PC muscles. These muscles, which are part of the pelvic floor, are a game changer when it comes to how a woman experiences pleasure and responds to stimulation. The PC muscles, short for pubococcygeus muscles, are the same muscles that she uses to stop the flow of urine. But they do so much more than that. These muscles are directly involved in the intensity of her orgasms, her ability to control sensations, and yes, her ability to ejaculate. Think of them as the engine behind her sexual response. Here's the thing, many women don't realize how much strengthening these muscles can enhance their pleasure. If her PC muscles are weak, she might feel disconnected from her body or find it hard to build up the tension needed for a squirting release. But when these muscles are strong, everything changes. She becomes more in tune with her sensations, more sensitive to stimulation, and more capable of releasing during orgasm. One of the best ways to strengthen these muscles is through Kegel exercises. They're simple, effective, and can be done almost anywhere. Here's a powerful truth. Some women believe that they can't squirt simply because their PC muscles aren't strong enough, or they haven't yet had a partner who creates the trust and safety that they need to fully surrender enough to let go. When those two pieces come together, strong PC muscles and a partner who helps her feel safe enough to surrender, the results can feel transformative. Suddenly, she's able to access new levels of pleasure and release that she didn't even know was possible. And as her partner, your role in this is huge. When you bring patience, encouragement, and a deep understanding of her body and mind, you become the key that unlocks her potential. This isn't about forcing anything or rushing. It's about giving her the tools and permission to fully embrace her pleasure. Remember, this is a journey, not a race. Strengthening her PC muscles is a part of the process, and over time, it can lead to incredible changes in how she experiences intimacy. Combine that with the trust you've built, the techniques that you've learned, and your own presence as her partner, and you'll be amazed at what's possible. If you'd like to learn more about giving your partner a squirting orgasm, including how to stimulate her G-spot, make sure that you check out my free training video over at jasonjulius.com/squirt. And make sure you hit that subscribe button below for more content, and hit that thumbs up button because that really supports the channel. And leave a comment below and let me know any questions that you have, and I'll see you in the next video.